The water is still. A bed of seagrass sways gently in the current, filtering light into soft green shadows. And there, camouflaged among the blades, a male seahorse grips a stem with his prehensile tail. His body is swollen, distended in a way that defies expectation. He is not ill. He is not injured. He is pregnant. And in the hours to come, he will give birth not to one offspring, not to 10, but to hundreds. They will emerge from a pouch on his abdomen in violent, rhythmic contractions, expelled into the water in clouds of tiny, translucent replicas of himself. This is not metaphor. This is not analogy. This is male pregnancy, and it is real. Today, we're exploring one of nature's most radical departures from reproductive convention. Why seahorses, alone among vertebrates, have evolved a system in which males carry, nourish, and birth their young. What we find is not simply a curiosity, but a window into the strange logic of evolution, where survival does not care about normal. It cares only about what works. Seahorses belong to the genus Hippocampus, a group of around 50 species found in shallow coastal waters, from the tropics to temperate zones. They are fish, though they swim upright, have no scales, and possess a body plan so alien they seem more mythological than biological. Their eyes move independently. Their snouts are tubular, built for precision suction feeding. Their skeletons are armored in bony plates, and most extraordinarily, they have inverted the most fundamental division of reproductive labor in the animal kingdom. In almost every species on Earth, females bear the metabolic burden of pregnancy. They produce the eggs, which are large and energy-rich. They gestate, or brood, or carry, or nurture in some form. Males, by contrast, produce sperm small, cheap, plentiful. The asymmetry is so universal it defines much of sexual selection theory. Males compete. Females choose. Males are expendable. Females are valuable. But seahorses shatter this template. Here, the female produces the eggs, yes, but she transfers them to the male. And from that moment forward, he is the one who gestates. He is the one whose body changes. He is the one who gives birth. The process begins with courtship, and it is elaborate. Seahorse pairs engage in synchronized swimming, rising together through the water column, tails entwined, bodies pulsing in rhythm. This is not brief. It can last for days. They are assessing each other, building coordination, establishing trust. When the female is ready, she uses a specialized ovipositor, a fleshy tube, to deposit her eggs directly into the male's brood pouch. This pouch is located on his ventral surface, just below his torso, and it is far more than a carrying case. It is a womb. Once the eggs are inside, the male seals the pouch and releases sperm internally. Fertilization occurs not in open water, but inside his body. The eggs embed into the pouch wall, which swells with blood vessels, forming a placenta-like structure. The male's tissue fuses with the developing embryos. He regulates the salinity inside the pouch, gradually adjusting it from the lower levels of his body fluids to match the surrounding seawater, so that when the young are born, they are not shocked by the transition. He supplies oxygen, he removes waste, he filters pathogens. He is, by every functional definition, pregnant. This is not superficial. Hormonal changes occur. The male's body produces prolactin, the same hormone that regulates pregnancy and lactation in mammals. His pouch lining thickens, becomes vascularized, forms structures analogous to a mammalian placenta. The embryos do not simply float inside him. They are physiologically connected. Nutrients pass from his bloodstream into theirs. The male loses weight during gestation. He becomes visibly thinner, his energy reserves depleted by the metabolic cost of sustaining hundreds of growing offspring. When birth approaches, contractions begin. His body curls forward, muscles spasming, and the young are expelled in bursts, sometimes dozens at once, sometimes one by one, over the course of hours. It is labor. It is exhausting. And when it ends, the male is depleted, but within days he is ready to mate again. The female has already prepared a new batch of eggs. So why? Why would evolution favor a system in which males, traditionally the less invested sex, take on the most costly role in reproduction? The answer lies in the constraints and opportunities of seahorse ecology. Seahorses are slow swimmers. They are ambush predators, clinging to vegetation, relying on camouflage and patience. They cannot chase prey. They cannot flee predators with speed. Their survival depends on remaining hidden, on minimizing movement. In such an environment, pregnancy is a liability. A swollen, egg-laden female is more visible, more vulnerable, less maneuvered. By transferring the eggs to the male, the female offloads that burden. She can resume feeding, regain energy, and begin producing the next clutch immediately. Meanwhile, the male, already sedentary by nature, loses little mobility by being pregnant. He continues to cling to seagrass, to feed, to blend in. The division of labor is not about fairness, it is about efficiency. The female maximizes egg production. The male maximizes offspring survival. But there is more. Seahorse mating systems are monogamous, or at least serially monogamous within a breeding season. Pairs bond. They greet each other daily, performing brief courtship dances to reinforce their connection. This is unusual in fish. Monogamy in the animal kingdom typically evolves when both parents benefit from cooperation. When offspring survival depends on dual investment. In seahorses, the male's pregnancy is so costly that he cannot afford to waste it on poor quality eggs. He must ensure the female is healthy, that her eggs are viable, that she will continue to produce them reliably. The female, in turn, depends on the male's pouch. She cannot afford to mate with a male who is already pregnant, or who will abandon the partnership. So they bond, they synchronize, they invest in each other. The result is a reproductive system in which both sexes are choosy, both sexes compete, and both sexes bear significant costs. This is not the textbook model. This is something stranger. There are variations even within seahorses. In some species, males brood only a few dozen offspring. In others, up to 2,000. The pouch structure differs. In lined seahorses, Hippocampus erectus, the pouch is highly vascularized, with extensive nutrient transfer. In other species, the connection is less developed. The male provides oxygen and osmoregulation, but less direct nutrition. And then there are the pipefish, seahorse relatives in the same family, Syngnathidae. Male pipefish also brood eggs, but the degree of investment varies wildly. In other species, the connection is less developed. The male provides oxygen and osmoregulation, but less direct nutrition. And then there are the pipefish, seahorse relatives in the same family, Syngnathidae. Male pipefish also brood eggs, but the degree of investment varies wildly. All. The male provides no nutrition, only protection. These variations map onto mating systems. Species with greater male investment tend to have role-reversed sexual selection. Females are larger, more colorful, more competitive. Species with minimal male investment look more conventional. The lesson is clear: male pregnancy is not binary. It is a spectrum. And where on that spectrum a species falls depends on the evolutionary trade-offs between mobility, predation, resource availability, and parental care. The birth itself is violent in its intensity. Filmed footage shows male seahorses convulsing, their bodies bending nearly in half, the pouch opening and closing in rapid pulses. The young emerge head first, fully formed but impossibly small. Some species produce offspring less than a centimeter long. They are immediately independent. There is no parental care after birth. They drift into the water column, vulnerable to predation, relying on numbers for survival. Most will die, but a few will make it. And those few carry forward the genetic legacy of a system that works, however strange it may seem. The male, emptied, recovers. His pouch deflates. Within days, he will mate again, beginning the cycle anew. Some males can undergo multiple pregnancies in a single season, producing thousands of offspring in total. This is not a passive role. This is reproductive output on a scale that rivals, and sometimes exceeds, that of females in other species. And yet seahorse populations are declining. Habitat loss, particularly destruction of seagrass beds and coral reefs, eliminates the anchoring points seahorses need. Bycatch in fishing nets kills millions. The traditional medicine trade harvests seahorses by the ton, drying them for use in remedies with no proven efficacy. Their slow reproduction, despite high offspring numbers, seahorse growth and maturation are slow, makes them vulnerable to overharvesting. And climate change alters the temperature and chemistry of coastal waters, disrupting the delicate conditions seahorse embryos require. Conservation efforts are underway, but they are complicated by the fact that seahorses are difficult to study in the wild. They are cryptic, hard to find, and their life histories are still not fully understood. We know the mechanics of their pregnancy, but we do not fully understand the evolutionary pressures that drove it. We know they form pair bonds, but we do not know how those bonds are maintained across seasons, or whether they persist across years. We know males give birth, but we do not know the full hormonal and genetic pathways that enable it. There is something deeply unsettling about seahorse reproduction. Not because it is grotesque, it is not, but because it forces us to confront the arbitrariness of categories we thought were fixed. Male and female are not just labels. They are roles, strategies, investments. And in seahorses, those roles are scrambled. The male gestates. The female produces and moves on. The male labors, the female competes. It is a reminder that biology does not care about our intuitions. It does not care about what seems normal, or natural, or right. It cares only about what survives. And in the quiet seagrass beds where seahorses live, what survives is a system in which the male becomes the vessel, the nurturer, the one who brings life into the world. Evolution did not choose this because it is elegant. It chose it because, in that context, it worked better than the alternative. We still do not understand all of it. We do not know why only Syngnathidae and seahorses, pipefish, sea dragons evolved this strategy. We do not know why it did not arise in other fish families, other environments, other lineages. We do not know the genetic switches that had to flip, the anatomical changes that had to accumulate, the selective pressures that had to align. We do not know if male pregnancy could evolve again elsewhere, or if it is a singular evolutionary experiment locked into this one family, never to be repeated. What we do know is that it exists, that it is real, that somewhere in the ocean right now a male seahorse is giving birth, his body racked with contractions, his offspring tumbling into the water in clouds of fragile, translucent life. And in that image, strange, undeniable, utterly outside the boundaries of what we expect, is a truth about the natural world. It is not constrained by our definitions. It is not limited by our assumptions. It simply is. And that perhaps is the most unsettling lesson of all.